All right, Pauletta. We got Pauletta. Hey, John. Prayers for a blessed day. All right, that means you all made it home, and that's great. Uh, Prayers for you too. God bless you, Pauletta. It was great to see you. Got Benjamin in the house here. This is the end of a spiritual gathering that we had in Sarasota. And a couple of the crew are left. It's actually the day after the end. This is like the rainbow gathering, and the cleanup crew stays after. And so we got a couple of stragglers like that. So we're going to put them on camera and hear from them. Okay. Pamela, all right. And Pamela made it home too. I'm going to watch the machines working. I'm going to hold on a second. Sorry about that. So we got Benjamin here. I was like, so we'll sit down and we'll have a little Q&A, hear from people about their experience and who they are, what's up like that. Oh, Mike's here, but he's on the video. What's up? Mike was here too. He was over. And Frank. All right, Frank. Good to have you all here. Thanks for the support. Benjamin's been here a minute. He's been here all week plus a little bit more time. How's your time been here at this spiritual gathering or in Sarasota? What do you like about Sarasota?
I like that you don't have to walk that far to get anywhere, basically. Yeah.
Don't have to walk that far. And walking's not your preferred way of getting anywhere. You have something else you ride, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you ride?
Uber.
Scooter.
Oh, scooter.
Scooter, nice. And so have you been doing any scootering?
Yeah, I've been going to the skate park a lot.
Skate park. A daily trip to the skate park. Multi-hours of having fun with other people that love scooters too. I went by, I saw it's got a chill vibe. It's a big place. The tropical scooter paradise, pretty much, huh? Yeah, excellent. How do you like the ocean here?
It was warmer than I expected.
Yeah, warmer. Oh, and we're not even at all the way warm. Wow, that's great. Warmer, nice. It gets warmer every day for a little while, for like a month and a half or so, and then it's like all the way dialed up to warm. And Jason was here too. Hey everyone, Jason. All right, Jason came with his mother, and it was great to have you both. So all right, Mike. All right. It was great to gather. We think it was really nice. The Poe family got a great Airbnb. We went and chilled over there, and they had a pool. It was just dynamite. Great cooking. Pauletta and Pamela did some great cooking, and then Mike's like, "Excuse me," and Mike and Cassie are like, "Excuse me," and jumped in there and got us some great food. So it's been a great week, and Benjamin's been manning the pool. Good pool, right? Yeah. And so you've been like checking out the sights of Sarasota. You like Sarasota? I mean, coming from Canada, what do you think? Like, it's a totally different place, right? Yeah. No mountains. Flat as a pancake. So you like it here? Or?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. All right. Any experience, like came down for a spiritual pilgrimage. He's a very intelligent spiritual guy here. I've been getting grilled from him to the highest level, and he's very intelligent and very nice. And he's an excellent comedian. Who knew? It's a great combination. So what do you think? Anything interesting happening while you're here on your visit?
Definitely a lot more people doing weird things.
People do weird things.
Yeah.
Like around you individually. Yeah. And you're like, You talk about one trip to the store where you're trying
Yeah.
to just get some food.
There were like, there was a guy in a suit with glasses and I think it was, yeah, shares. And they came into the store and followed us, went to the fruit section and stuff. And
Yeah.
then I went to the deli. So the guy was right behind me and he went to the potatoes and grabbed some and then put it back. And then he followed me to the gelato section.
Yeah.
And he was right behind me. And I looked behind me and then he just like walked away.
That's funny. So, hey, let me ask you a question. How many states are there in Canada? Do you know? Like 15 or something? I don't even know.
16.
Huh?
I think like 14 or 16.
Oh, 14 or 13. See, what I was thinking, maybe after you meet Benjamin, right? Maybe actually we want to become like the 15th state of Canada. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like everyone in Canada is nice. So not the other way around. But no, they keep an eye on not for the Canadian reasons actually, because doesn't everyone in Canada is cool, but like to come down and visit on and talk about the spiritual truth and be involved with God and stuff. They keep an eye on you. Make sure. Hi. Nice to have you. And they treat you nicely, watch over you, not in a negative way, but they just sort of like lean into your frame a little too much. You're like, excuse me, could you back it up a little? Yeah. Until you notice them. Yeah, it's funny. Because usually we're individually, doing that kind of weird stuff wherever we are, but then it's like I moved. And okay, it's still happening here or whatever. Or it happens a little more when people come around me is what I've noticed. So yeah, having a bunch of them kind of sort of seeing behind the veil and seeing that they're like characters there instead of like which really lets you know that you're special, that God is watching over you and using actual individuals to do it. You're like, wow, you're very close to me. So yeah, but you're having a nice relaxed time, huh? All right. Well, we'd love to have you back here anytime you want to come. Anything else you want to talk about? Any questions, any thoughts, or anything on your mind?
No, not really.
Well, if you get something, we're going to be on live here for me. You can jump back up here and hear more from you. It's been great having you. You're great. If anybody likes jumping in the pool and messing around or whatever, like he's the king over here. So just saying, he can make anything fun and happy, and he does have good jokes. You told me some good jokes the other day. You want to tell a good joke on the way out? He's really good, actually.
Okay.
All right.
Why don't seagulls fly over the bay?
Why do seagulls fly over the bay?
Because
Okay.
if they fly over the bay, they'd be bagels.
Oh, they'd be bagels. What? See what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a good comedy. That's just one of them. That's just the opener. But no, he's got decent comedy. It takes a minute, but it's all coming out. All right. Thanks for being on camera. I appreciate it. He's always like, how many views you get, man? Is this worth my time? Wait a second. Maybe we'll get someone else on here. We got a small live studio crew that's usually, I'm hearing from just from typing. But we got some here if anybody wants to come up here and say what's up. All right, West Coast to the West Coast. West Coast, Florida, West Coast of the USA. We got George here at the house.
Hello.
Jay Baba, he's got his Baba thing on there.
There's Baba.
Yeah, and his
and there's the guy who runs the place.
All right.
There he is.
Guy who runs the place and the loop.
Yes.
Looped around your
and the calendar's right here.
What?
Yes. We're down here somewhere. We're in this end part.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, you got everybody's happy to see George.
Oh, great. Yep. We're in year 55, which is my age. Soon to be 56.
Yeah. So you're coming, George Stojanoff, coming from the Seattle area, Seattle, Washington.
That's right.
Thanks for coming out,
Oh,
and
yeah. Well, it was my pleasure.
thanks for coming to Indy. He's always got the deepest questions, and it's like, oh, before I leave, like I'll probably hear a zinger right before he's like, okay, bye.
I don't know.
That's happened with it. It's good. He's got some good stuff.
My mind's kind of at a different place now. A good example, maybe the best example, certainly my life of Christian fellowship. Right there, all together, on the same page, asking questions, how to get closer to God, getting answers, performing actions, and trying to learn techniques, how to make it to the end without errors. So, yeah, that's
good. The fellowship is a thing, like just chilling with the other people who are willing to question reality and investigate the situation that we all find ourselves in. And I made a joke all week, like, all we're trying to do really is debunk the 64-year time limit. Like, let's not, no, you know what I mean? Like, this thing's got to be wrong. And so you're constantly looking for more, you're looking, you're secretly looking to debunk it, but you're like, there's more evidence. There's more, you're constantly finding a giant haystack and no needles, like, it's funny. I mean, myself too. I was like this, God, could you be wrong? Let me say, I have to investigate this. And yeah, the more you look, George is really super into signs and symbols and making sure it all, the warp and the weft all go together. Of all the fabric of the universe has the same thing.
Yes, they all point. After a while, it's actually, I'm at the point now where it's starting to get exhausting. So I'm looking forward to the point where I no longer think about it too much because I've processed enough. But I think, well, my assumption is everyone has to go through that process to see it, digest it, then question it, digest it some more. I don't know how many times you're going to question. I'm, what is it, the Bible? I'm the probably doubting Thomas type. So I'm always questioning and wondering. But it's got to stop at some point. Well, I guess God has to give you an experience to move you forward, right? And otherwise, yeah. So,
Yeah, a series of experiences like going up the plains. Yeah, I agree. And it's sort of a molting or falling away of our invisible chains and trauma and programming that keep us
yes.
pinned down to the not true.
And hearing different experiences from different people, like different examples of molting, is really helpful for you to even process, like, oh, maybe I did have a experience, but previously I didn't realize it or didn't recognize it, or and it does take a long time. Well, I would say years, because it's been a year, more than a year for the gathering in South Carolina at the Mayor Spiritual Center, and it's been a year since India, since we were all there, and I still think about those times every day.
Yeah, and we're all in a slightly different place in the spiritual path because we're in a different body, right? Like, so we're in line to get to the exit door. We're in a body, and we're like, am I close? I'm close to the exit, right? But I don't. What number am I? But it's very few who want the information at the end, where it's oh, this is actually true, and that information. Of what's true, what isn't true, and then processing it. Like Mirabal says, you go through the gross plate, the subtle plate, and then the mental plate. So the subtle plate is like seeing all of it around you, like, oh, the signs and symbols totally match what's going on in the things that I don't see, the invisible realm. at least you don't see it like at Disney World. It's like, okay, that's behind the scenes, whatever. It's invisible to us how they run it. And so the signs and symbols are all kind of, like the public sort of way to say it, but not say it. So the people that don't get it, don't get it, and, but for them, that's all they see. But after a while, like you say it, it's sort of, you see it all, but you just, you don't see it for anything that it wasn't like before. And then once you accept what it is after some investigation and all that, then when you finally are okay, then it starts to fade in its intensity because you're not like, I'm learning a new language. English is tough. I did not, they were all, before I was just crying like a baby. I would cry and they would help me. They're like, learn English. And then you learn what's around you with the signs and symbols, and you see it match. You see it matches what they're doing, the whole situation. So they did that kind of like outward thing drives you more in evolution, introspection, doing your spiritual work inwardly to.
Yeah, it's very true. I don't know, I probably spent last year after India, I spent a long time thinking about all my past experiences, my past relationships, what they were all about, why they had to have happened, how they affected me, how they propelled me or how they held me back. And that was a lot of processing of like, oh, I remember the first time I got, I remember very vividly the first time I got a shot for a vaccine in 1970 something, and being scared to death. And I remember that experience. So like, then you will start wondering, okay, why is this part of everyone's experience? So then you realize, okay, this is something something to do with the spiritual evolution, right? God puts this in our place, and then you start thinking on pondering that, right? And the symbolism of the needles, and you see that everywhere. And yeah, anyway, it's a lot to process when you start going back and thinking about how you got here. And then you actually finally can you can start appreciating your path and forgiving and saying, okay, I forgive these people for what, or like maybe forgiving and finally just getting over it. Like, okay, these people did X to me, and I'm like, now I see, okay, without that, I couldn't be here. So thank you. Right? Doctors scaring you with needles. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's all required. It was all a big workup so that by the time COVID hit, I could say, okay, I can't be an atheist anymore. I need something. I need Jesus Christ. All right. Without that long wind up, I would have been probably an atheist forever. Right. I knew finally that I had to do something bigger because there's no way I could protect my family just by myself. Right? Doesn't matter how many law books you read. Doesn't matter how many guns you have in your house. That's all nonsense, right? They're going to come at you to scare you to the right place hard. So until you basically say, I can't do it, God help me. Or that was my experience. I'm sure other people have something very similar.
I agree with you 100%. That was super well said. So again, through the timeline, let me just break it down as, if you don't mind, like as a spiritual, like path that we all have to take. In that, he's like, okay, maybe there's a spiritual hierarchy. A year plus ago, comes to Myrtle Beach, like, okay, this appears to be a real spiritual hierarchy. Gets baptized, and then you agree to it. Go to India. Okay, you want to see behind the curtain? Let's go and see it. And so we did that. And then he's talking about going home and processing it for over a year until we meet again. And so spiritually, right? Because I said after a year, they've been back here. I say, oh, you did all that to the only people that came, which are very few. Uh, Dead years straight, right? And so what does that mean? I say, you're off the fourth plate, and you're on the fifth, and maybe you reincarnate, whatever, maybe not, and so on. But you should at death uh, continue to the end of the journey. And so, what happens when you actually die? And no one, you're not in the spiritual hierarchy, you don't know where you are or whatever. Anyone who dies, right, it leaves a body. You're immediately sent to review your past. Yes, you review your past for good or bad, and you have some angels there like, hey, and these, you get placed into the next body based on that. Hey, we checked out your review, and yeah, no, here you go later. Okay, see you again. So, but that's what happens when you find out the truth and you accept it. You begin to do your review of your past and your forgiveness of it in this lifetime now, in a same lifetime. So that's what stops you from
Mm.
needing to come back to another. But like, you don't have to go to the afterlife or review it. You're like, oh my god, I got to the end of the game and I see the whole game for what it is, and then you start to have to you have to do the work you'd have to do in heaven or hell, here now in the body process, look backwards, and like you said, forgive everyone. uh so that's the goal of the process of everyone. Come to the truth, accept the spiritual hierarchy, get your slate wiped clean, and then don't you've overcome your desires and see them for what they are, and that's not there, your desires to get to God. So you're going to continue down the path. And so I do think what he said, and I think this is generally what people do. I agree 100%.
Well, this right here is a great example. Hit John is my perfect master. He just explained something that I didn't even realize, that what I was doing is what I would be doing, let's say, hopefully in heaven, if I don't return to God, right? Is the review. The fact that presumably I'm doing the review now, or have been, is a new, that's enlightening to me. It's like, what? That's what I've been doing? Okay, that actually matches perfectly what I've been doing. So, yeah, that's perfect. And by the way, I just wanted to throw in that, you talked about the angels or devils grading you as you come back. So the Orthodox have this notion of the tolls. There's I don't know how many of them. It could be 7 or 9 probably, right? And they're oftentimes depicted, and there's usually little devils with like parchment paper, right? Like, this is what you did, right? And you're there, usually depicted as a little child with your guardian angel. You're holding your guardian angel's hand, and you have to get past all the tolls, all the accusations of the things you did. So this is a example we were talking about before, the signs and symbols. So all the religions give you all these truth drops, right? That you can work on trying to put into the right place, right? And there's lots of dust thrown in your eyes, right? There's a lot of misdirection in all the religions, but there's also all the truth in there too. So that's another thing that, depending on your own script and your own background, what you might be working on, right? To say, okay, which part of Christianity has always told me this is so, right? Which part of Orthodox or Catholic, or which part of Islam, right, is telling you hints? Which part of Buddhism or even Taoism? I mean, they're all, once you start understanding, you start seeing the instructions everywhere, right? Slightly different, and always trying to get, usually the thing is that they're oftentimes trying to get you to focus back on the earth, right, in the gross realm, right? But they're also giving you a hint, by the way, you can also start experiencing other things. Anyway, that's a lot of, you can spend a lot of time processing all these things, and you will. You will.
You will, like Bear Mama, his fifth perfect master, like, hit him on the head with a rock the last way, and he laid in bed for 9 months, just like, and never did he eat or drink or stayed alive. It was like, had to process what's going on up in here. It's incredible, because once you can't debunk it, because you try, you're like, please God, this is like, then as you attempt to do that, then you understand the nature of God is way past anything you had any idea what was possible. And you've really, your ego shrinks in the process. And then you're like, okay, you see it for what it is, and then you realize, wait, God really set up quite a thing here and loves me so much for doing this, and to everyone, not just me, to everyone, to me, to George. And so we're all in a different spot of the path. And the only reason I can sit here and decode his exact great explanation of what happened is I already did it a little while ago and had a little more processing time. You know what I'm saying? So I can say, oh, that's the same pattern I had to go through. It's a pattern that we all have to follow. If you just look for the bigger patterns instead of the tiny little things in it, then you see, oh, this is just kind of a simple game. Like, you know, we just don't know the rules or stuff. But like Monopoly doesn't have so many rules you can't understand them. Same with baseball or any game you could play. Ultimately, you can figure out the rules. Chess, so you can figure out the rules, but then to play it well is really it's difficult. You got to look for somebody that's already figured out whatever game that is if you want to become the best. Perfect. I want to play a perfect game. Okay. So that's kind of what my job is. And that's why George could explain what he did and also help so many people from behind him, working on the spiritual path, and him be able to just break down his past year in such an eloquent way, in a simple way. And then okay, that the principles are here. That's, I think, what a gathering is about too, because individuals that come, they need a little bit of my time individually each, and then also it's great to for your brothers and sisters. The fellowship aspect is to bring up situations, and of course these are difficult situations for us, otherwise we wouldn't bring it up. Hey, this is a hard one, how do I. Otherwise you'd handle it on your own. So it's great that people come in and share their situation in front of people also that they can trust, who have signed the trust and got baptized. Like people, you don't have to sit there and wonder if actually someone's trying to do their best for God. You take all the moments with one another. Like people are really working on this, as best as they are able to from their individual location. So sharing, our own perspective is what we take a lot of time to do, have taken a lot of time to do. I respect that. Do it in feed ourselves by the pool or go to the beach, go to the drum circle, and but take the time to patiently share this kind of information with each other, and then kind of hold. I can't do it for that many hours in the day, but try to hold the space and explain, how these difficulties we're going through are the structure of the spiritual path that we're all forced to walk. That's all. So it is a fair game. It's not unfair. Go okay. You scared me with that roller coaster, but good job at Disney World. You like the roller coaster. You that was a bit scary. But okay, good job. Man. You did totally scare me. Hey, you're forgiven over there. I did cry, but you're forgiven.
The unfathomable roller coaster. Yes.
Yeah, you run up the roller coasters the other day. Oh my god, it is. It's just a constant. I saw a map of the city of Chicago. I was watching some video today, and it was a map of their pipe and sewer system underground. It looked like magic carpet or so. I was like, how could this? It's got to all go downhill, and it is.
Right.
Yeah, people did that in the 18 whatevers. You don't even think about all that now. That's way harder to build than what's up top. Way harder.
They got really good digging those canals from New York to Chicago, don't you know?
I mean,
with horses.
I mean, it goes on. And then you see by it, and you start to review your life like, wow, how come I didn't see this to begin with? You kick yourself for a minute, then you're like, then you start looking at the infinity, you're like, well, it kind of isn't my fault. Like God is infinite, made an infinite tableau here. It took me a minute, so
it's pretty detailed.
It is
infinitely detailed, never ending.
Alan, what does Alice say? God bless you all. Alan made it home. Yes. Thank God for a successful gathering. Amen. Bible, praise Jesus Christ. Thank you. I was wondering y'all made it back, and I'm happy to hear. I was like, I think hopefully they get there. The show's on, and they will have slept or whatever. Great. I'm happy to see y'all made it. It was a wonderful visit. You got a great place, and we totally
Yep.
just absolutely inundated your place. So you're all magnanimous about the whole thing, and we had great food and great times together.
Yes.
Thanks for having us
Yeah, the
over there.
fellowship was awesome. The location was great. The accommodations were excellent. The food was great.
Yeah.
The sharing of stories and sharing people's actions and their experiences, priceless, right? And getting it firsthand and not through YouTube or whatever is another level of when you actually can see people and sort of feel their pain and their excitement. It does something inside of you. It changes you. Also gives you ideas that were like, oh, I could maybe be more brave here. I could try other things. And also, let's not forget that with all this, John is also giving us, tools so we can make it to the last end here of the age, so that we don't necessarily have to always be doing the same thing we've been doing since I've been doing the same a lot of the same things for at least half the age. So he's giving us tools so we can focus on our journey instead of focusing being a hamster in the hamster wheel. So thank you, John.
Yeah, I mean, like in the drum circle last night, everyone met Gypsy. You know what I'm saying? Like, pray for Gypsy, and then you meet him, and then you're like, okay, you have that experience. Like, it's because I'm trying to give how to information. Like, you can still be nice to them, you can still spend time with them, you can still pray for them. I don't know if they're coming over here. You don't necessarily have to waste your time on it per se, but you can be pleasant and so on. You can pray for them. So even Benjamin gave him grilled him down and stuff. He's a very interesting character, very nice too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Frank, life is better with the trust. Nice, yes,
Yes, it is.
yeah. All right, it's great to have you here. It's great to have you in India. You're such a good traveling companion that you're really working on your spiritual stuff. So I agree with George is a legend. I agree with Mike. Uh, he is a legend. You two, and you got to see Mike's place and stuff, which is an experience on its own.
Oh
Like,
yes,
you
yes.
know,
Right. I experienced bus living for one night. It was awesome. It was comfortable. It was great.
yeah, Florida has a lot of different stuff going on, which totally is a good place to process information that's outside of what you're used to doing because this whole place is outside of what you're used to doing, but in a good way, actually. I love Florida. We jump in the ocean. Benjamin's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. He's just like grill a gypsy, and we're like, we're gonna jump in the ocean. So no, everyone's got some freedom when you come down here to investigate whatever part of my work or anything that's going on. Ask others, have an experience. A spiritual gathering gets you a lot of information that you otherwise couldn't get. And so, information, knowledge is what moves us forward spiritually. So, it's kind of a necessity. Oh, the spiritual hierarchy is real, but you don't partake in it. Well, what, you had other things that were more important than your spiritual uh that your soul, like winning your soul and getting to God there. Okay, so then you might need another lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So the people that put in that work to find the spiritual hierarchy, to attempt to achieve to get on it, and so on. That's the process that we're engaged in. That's where your ego dies at the end, not like from a video, but actually doing it. You know.
Yes.
And then that allows you to take your spot on it and move forward yourself. Hit the conveyor belt and start moving forward instead of watching from the sidelines. Because you have to be able to accept it and move forward, and then other people are going to come up to you. So, like, oh, okay. And it's going to be one or two teams, right? But you're going to be trying to help either one of them. Just get along with the other team. Hey, you did a good job. You had me for a while over there. All right. Forgiven. You all are tough to beat. That's why you're undefeated for a long time. Good job. You're forgiven.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
until you hang out with them, and They're there just drumming, hanging out. They're not worried about the date. They know the date. They know it all. And then getting that vibe check from them is like, you can't tell us, but I mean, you are kind of telling us over there, you know? So all of that together is kind of hard to give. You know, we have a bunch of senses, not just hearing and see it. You know, we've got all the other senses. We got a whole body. We experience things in reality. It's a whole other dimension. So I think that's what George is getting, and I appreciate it. I'm just trying to hold the space for it to answer some question, but God is like, oh, you're going on pilgrimage. Oh wow, all right then. Let me give you what you need, Alan. Gathering is essential to moving forward. Agree. People who want God need to spend time with John, and those who are also on the spiritual path. Agreed. And in the spiritual hierarchy, I think we should gather at least once a year.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad you said that way and everything. I appreciate that because I've been working on a website, but I'm really glad I had this gathering because really, yeah, it's like a church, but not really traditional in any way. It's more really like training missionaries or ministers to go out there, you know, individually or in a small group of a family or a very small amount of people and hold that space for God and the truth and so on. So we have to, yeah, go practice and then go hold that space, you know, in a relaxed, happy way. We're not pissed at the other team in the beginning. Hey, I get it, you know, but it's good to come and shake your tears. Didi was here. And come and shake your tears and let it all go at the ocean here, you know? And then forgive them. Look, the happy ones are over there dancing. Forgive them. Have a dance with them. It starts there. Okay, great, great. You know, once your ego's out of it, you can go, wow, you really, thank you for doing this to me. You didn't have any choice, so you had to do what you had to do to me. So it wasn't, I took it as horrible and negative, but it really actually was just you were under orders to do it over there. Okay. And you got me where I was trying to go. And so that's the only way you could like you can't just go, that's the direct I can you give me the directions to God? They're like, no, can't give you the directions. But so they do it in the way they can give you direction to God. And once you accept that, you're like, that's the only way, that's the best way. It's like, no, that's just the way that's the only way we're allowed to do it. It's like, okay, then you're forgiven if that's actually true. So it takes you a minute, like, is that actually true? But then you're like, yeah, you don't, and you talk to them because you want them to come to God and the truth of your experiences, so on, and they won't do it. They have no interest. So you realize, oh, okay, you really don't have free will over there. You really are just doing what you're told. And so, okay, you are forgiven. If you really don't have any free will, you're doing over a script for my benefit. Okay, well, okay, because I made it. So you are forgiven. But that's the way you did it. It takes you a while. Like, that's what you, what? But they go, oh, you had orders from God. Okay, we got orders from God. Oh, okay. So this was God's idea? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm forgiving God and you and the whole crew. Okay, okay. And then that clears your path. You know, that processing that George is talking about clears your path. That okay, because you remove that velvet rope. Yeah, I'm gonna come in. I'm just coming back this time. I'm not. I'm not. It's no round trip this time. No, no, I'm not a round trip. Round and round and round. They call it a round trip, or it would really be a straight line trip, right? A double straight line. It's not round. The round trip is what the trip we're on here.
And it doesn't feel it's linear. It does feel like you let go, it comes back. You let go some more, it comes back, and slowly, just kind of like the way Baba describes it in God Speaks, it gets loosened. How do you describe it? The knots are loosened slowly, like over time, slowly, not all in one shot.
Yeah. He said like your scars are like a ball of yarn, and a perfect master doesn't cut him or anything. He straightens them out, like the
Yeah.
each thing of the yarn. He straightens on the yarn. So yeah, and then once you see your path, which is really your path, right? You see the ball of yarn, which is your path. You just go back, you look it over, you review it. The perfect master does it. He just is like, oh, guess what? Did you notice on your way here all this junk? And it's like, now that you mentioned it, I did actually notice, but not the way you said it. And then that helps begin the untangling that the individual does. Really, the untangling of the past and forgiving. The untangle it, see it, forgive. Why you're here, why you're here. And so you don't have to do it over that. You see, that's how you win. And so that's why the timing of it is important. You got to have enough time to do some processing and untangle them knots. The sooner you get to it, the faster it's going to happen. So, yeah. Uh, that was great. All right, Dee Dee was here too. They had her tears and let go a lot of stuff, and then I'm sure she's more relaxed. And probably misses us like we miss her, and everyone else here.
I hope to meet Dee Dee next time. I missed her this time, but next time.
All right, George, thank you.
Yes.
You're always such a great companion for me or anyone that comes. George is always the best to hang out with, and is totally one of the best listeners you ever have because he really likes to be listened to, so he's listening to you. It's wonderful. All right, George. Glad you
Yes.
made it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, John.
All right, man. Jay, you wanna come up here? We'll bring in the heavy hitter, a home run hitter at the end. Jay made it here. Here for the final day. And you've been here a few days. We got sorry, Dee Dee. So now I'm like the crybaby. Never felt so uncomfortable in my life. I know, it's so great. Like she you know, let it all go. Properly, that's actually what you're supposed to do. No, you're just like spiritually advanced. You like actually let it go at the right moment on a pilgrimage. No. That was beautiful. Then and yeah, everybody found out you have a giant heart, Dee Dee. That's all. Okay, congratulations, everyone. Yeah. No, it's Jay Baller. Everyone's hey Jay. Thank you, George. I had Reagan. Thank you, George. I had so much fun. Yeah, it was. You're great. And that little lady, yo baby, is the cutest. Uh, we have it hasn't rained here months, and it's just finally rained here right during this show. It's great. Darshan, like the 1964 gathering of Bear Baba, rained on everybody. So we got Jay here. He come down. Where'd you come down from? Tell everyone, Jay.
Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia, outside DC. All right. Hey, you drove down. Hey, you been staying here for a few days of this. Great. How's your experience been? What's it been like for you?
Fantastic. I mean, it's just super enjoyable. The people you meet that have that different outlook on life is it's so refreshing because it's one in a million kind of, or maybe one in a billion kind of situation. You never meet people. You when you make the flip, when you make the switch, there's no one to talk to
Yeah.
outside this tiny little group, if you want to call it that. So you get used to it. You get used to it. It becomes smaller and smaller. I'll start over with a story. I was lucky. I made a flip way back in 2012, let's say. I was in my house in the driveway. I was working on my car, and the Jehovah's Witness come up the driveway. I thought, oh, this will be nice. You know, church ladies, they're usually pretty nice. And they came up right before they got to me. I said, I love God, and Jesus Christ is God. And they lost their minds. They went, no, 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 no. They go, well, that's just your opinion. And I was trying to quickly add this up, and I go, no, that's a fact. They go, we have to leave. That quick. And I go, holy cow, where do we live? And I kind of realized at that point, like, everybody's wrong. Nobody's right. Everybody's wrong, and everybody's wrong. And so I was kind of there by myself. interesting. And that's where I started. And with time, even now today, I still look at it like the truth comes into focus, and you kind of narrow down the path as you get closer and closer, more accuracy with the truth. And, that's how I do it.
Yeah, it's been great to have you, Jay, and share stories and everything. I'm glad we didn't do it outside. Man, has it rained? It hasn't rained so long. I can't even believe it. Every time there's been a rumor of rain and no rain for forever. This is wonderful. Not really a beach day. So it's good to be inside for this, hanging with everyone. And this makes it for a great finale for the week plus one. So yeah, great. You drove down. You didn't fly down.
No, I flew down.
You flew down. Flew
Yeah,
down.
and I
Okay.
got the rental car.
All right. Has stayed a few days. It has been, we've been playing it by ear, depending on who's here, visiting over the Poe family house and doing this and doing that, or going out to eat as needed, and just being flexible. Uh, and had a few baptisms early on in the week, and then a couple more later in the week. And so Jay got that done, and we did all the paperwork that goes along with it, becoming a minister and all that. I got all the paperwork, went through the ceremony, got the video, got all the paperwork. And so that's a part of the gathering as well. It's not, because it doesn't make sense to actually for doing any ministry or, you know, any missionary work that you could do it all online. Like there's a spiritual hierarchy. There must be something that must be gathered, face to face in that hierarchy. So, come in and put it all together, after some time of learning and accepting and seeing the truth. It's part of the process for everyone. So it's good to have you, Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you go back after this, so you have met the other people, and they're very serious about individually being with God, as I am, and then you realize, hey, you can take it seriously too. You have, uh, some compatriots out there. You meet them. That helps to hold you, stand firm, and keep a good, happy attitude about God and the situation, and see it for what it is. And then, like George was saying, review the situation and start to forgive them around you, including all the ones currently around you, still running all the stuff.
Yes.
Uh, and
So
instead,
important.
just treat them they're sort of like spiritual children, really, because they're not far down the path. So, they annoyed you because, you're not a spiritual child. And all you're doing is hanging out with spiritual children. So it's annoying after a while until you
True that.
accept the differences. Then you go, okay, of course you would act like spiritual children because you are spiritual children. You know what I mean? And then you can start to have, okay, treat them like, kind of like children. Okay, you can be nice to children because you accept oh, you're a very young child. That's why you don't know what's up. That doesn't, we don't have any negative onus. Young children are ours. I hate them. They're such a pain in the ass. No one thinks like that. But if you think of them, the other teammate who we're up against like that, that you can forgive them because you're like, yeah, okay, well, one day maybe we get here. Okay. Thanks for getting me where I am. One day maybe you come. So you begin to reverse it and pray for them and see their spiritual weaknesses for their strength for getting you here, but also their weakness for them not being able to follow in your footsteps, to God. Where oh, you brought me over here, you're so annoying. Why don't you come over here too? They're like, oh, easy now. Hey, easy now. Easy. We helped you get there, but yeah, no, we don't. We like the Mississippi River on this side, okay? No, uh, so that's what we have to go back and deal with. What George was describing, like go to have a spiritual pilgrimage, you go back to your own situation, you start to review your life based on the truth and so on, and forgive them, and sort of get happier in a way and let a lot go, make different future plans based on the actual future, and your life changes, but for the better. And it's totally like after a spiritual pilgrimage, your compass is just like, I don't know where I'm going. It's like, boom, I'm going to God. Boom. So it really helps get your spiritual compass together too. So I'm glad you came south, flew down, and you'll continue your experiences up there, huh?
Yeah, a real treat. Such a joy to finally make it. I've been here for a long time, typing back and forth on YouTube and stuff. And it at some point in time, it makes it difficult to get so much information back and forth. So face to face is really it's like a godsend, of course. I got a little push. I was on the airplane that was coming down here, and the stewardess asked me if I wanted a cup of coffee. I said, "Yeah, I'd like a cup of coffee." And she goes, "Would you like it black like my heart?"
That's like Alice sitting next to the devil, but not. But
Oh,
wait, you are. He took my seat and sat next to the devil in India. It was. We're like, that's the devil right there. It's like, it's interesting. No, they're, airplane experiences. That's definitely them. That's definitely not us up there. That's definitely
No.
them up there.
no.
And they let you know that, yeah, okay, you're in our little, beer cave for the minute. So that's funny. Uh, Mike, the fallen angels demonstrate what we are not, and service by the contrast existing between each side of creation, God or God's shadow. True. Which is all God. Like without, the light, there is, there's no dark in duality. You know what I'm saying? You need the light to create a shadow. You know. So otherwise, it's just all black art. Wow, we got some rain and lightning. Yes. All right. Well, I'm glad you made it down here. Anything else you want to say before we have our last guest on?
Say a prayer for everybody on the way out, and thank you, Jesus Christ, all the very day.
Thank you, Jim. Glad you made it, man. All right. And the Queen of the North. Here we go.
Hi, everyone.
Jamie Bach, Canada. She's been here a little extra. She's going to stay a little extra. She's got further to go and a whole country to watch over. She's like, I'm coming down there extra.
It's so nice to meet everyone.
Yeah.
So glad.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, Jamie has done a lot in a short period of time and helped so many people. And her son Benjamin was on earlier, and he's an amazing guy. So, and her partner Eloise came down for part of the week as well, and got baptized and met everyone. He's one of the best huggers ever. He's a very sweet guy and took the time to, is more recent to this information and wanted to, came down and met everyone and was a great individual to have along for the journey too. Uh, yeah, Pamela, great to see you, JB, and Pauletta, JB, good to see you. Yeah, and Reagan, hey, everyone, hello, Jamie. Yes, Jamie's great to hang out with. Benjamin, great to hang out with. It's great to have him down here. It's great to have him here, to meet with everyone and see everyone. And she's got so many experiences. She's up in Canada. I mean, it's really not near Florida, and
It's nice being here.
yeah,
And I want to say what George said as well. I acknowledge John is my perfect master. And I've learned through John and reading Mayor Baba's books that that's the only way to have the blocks removed is to find a perfect master to remove the blocks. And I learned earlier in the year from Mike how important it was to get baptized by John. So, and meeting everyone has been really incredible. I'm not very social at all, so I was nervous to come meet everybody. And, I have my clients at work and my family, but I really don't socialize a lot. So meeting everyone, it felt like meeting a family. It was really, really nice. So
It
thankful
is.
to everyone.
It is like meeting your spiritual family, that's because you all just love God like that. Yeah, where I want to go home. So if it's your home and it's your home, these are the same people trying to get to the same home.
Yeah.
Like it is your family.
Yeah.
So and it's difficult because you thought family was this and that, and we're told everything is what it is. But then if our job is to really get back spiritually to God, and that's the reason we're doing all this, then the ones who are getting best at it, at nearest to God, are the ones you want to take your information from and hang out with. Those are the ones you want to learn from because they're doing things. What did you experience? What happened to you? Uh, oh man, that reminds me of something that happened to me. It just goes on like that. Because, like George was saying, you're processing the past, the spiritual information after you come to the truth. So I was like, come to the AA meeting. That's what I was like, call this. It's like, a spiritual AA meeting. It's like you hang out with the other people who made it up, climbed, you know, Jacob's ladder, kept me to heaven. And you're way up there in the dizzying heights after all you've experienced, and there's so few there. So relating your situation is a review of your past, like George was saying, a review of your past,
Yeah.
where you share what's happened to you, you let go of that, traumatic event at the time that made you remember it, uh, and so you share it and let it go. See it for what it is, and let it, and it loses its power, and then process it, review it. Things you would do in heaven or hell, you're able to do here. And so if you're trying to do that, you're like, I want to tell my story and get some feedback. Well, you need somebody to do that with. So you
Yeah.
taking the time to do that with your.
And it was so nice that these 4 boys connected. Mary's 2 boys and Dee Dee's grandson. That was really special. That they just had a blast.
We needed a big blowout early.
Like they
Did like, this is a pool party. It was like, yes. And everywhere they went,
so much
and everywhere they went,
fun.
the ocean, everywhere,
Yeah.
everywhere, they had the greatest time. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I think I am gonna sleep for a week from watching you guys. Like, they are like ultimate best time.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. I was so happy for all the mothers to have that experience too, because all the mothers. Mary, I forgot to mention. Yeah, Mary Green was here
Yeah.
with her 2 guys, and yeah, Dee Dee.
Roxy.
Yeah, yeah. And Roxy, her family.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a great bunch of individuals and little groups come through during the week at different times. So we remained flexible. Whoever was here and got to visit with one another. Uh, for who was here, went down and hung out at Jamie's hotel and had a big dinner down there and everything. We had a great time down there. And it was, fine to. It does. It sort of didn't matter that there was a Kentucky Derby party and stuff going on and stuff. We were just chilling with each other. It was great.
Yeah.
Wonderful weather. Wow, it's finally raining in
It's
Florida.
torrential downpour.
Yeah.
Here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it hasn't rained in so many months.
Like there's
So great.
like a river's gonna start forming
Yeah.
out there soon.
Yeah, you would think, but we got sand, but it could keep coming, and it just goes right into the ground. Thankfully, that's one thing Florida has. It's like you can blow us away, but the rain is going in the ground, all sand. So we do have that here.
Yeah.
But no, okay, that was nice. So you've had your own individual experience. What's it been like watching your young guy come to the truth? He's really we only
This
have
is
one
his
of the 4
schoolwork.
guys
This is-
left, so we have to talk about the one guy that's here.
This is his school field trip coming here and meeting everyone and experiencing everything.
because he's like homeschooled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you may not know that. Everybody came down, they know
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
What everyone's up to. You share your life with everyone. But yeah, to see this guy who, I mean, you did what? You read God Speaks, so you have questions. I mean, what? You're 12. You know what I'm saying? And the other guys are like that too. It's like, man, you all are. And for them to share is just the same situation for us. Like they're still just dudes chilling out, having a great time. They're processing the same information, and they're happy down there. They're fine. They're uh you know good uh kind of like tone police for the situation. Like they're having fun.
I've
They had a
just
great time.
noticed unless you point something out, it would be, oh, we wouldn't pay attention. Like George was driving us back to the hotel once, and there's this truck that was like driving super close, and then like swerving lanes right in front of us. And the very next day, you talk about how that's how it is when you drive anywhere. And we all noticed it, but we wouldn't have noticed the significance until you say it. Then it's just another one of these occurrences.
Yeah, the
Like,
pattern that we're forced to accept, walk in the spiritual path,
Yeah.
unless you have some other compatriots. And it's sort of like, I used to go to a martial arts class and there'd be an instructor. The instructor knows it all, but you actually learn a lot from the other students in the class. It's like, okay, break up. Now we're going to do this with each other. You learn from each other and the doing of it. And then the instructor comes on and say, no, you're going to do this way. Then fix your feet here. Oh, there you go.
fix your feet.
Yeah, yeah. Or unaffix your feet. Get moving over there. No, that's true. I mean, and then, but that's a pattern. Like I had a perfect master who brought me along and showed me how to, respect everyone else on the spiritual path and how to treat them. I watched them treat them a certain way. I was taught how to do it. Hold a space for people spiritually, no matter who they are, and to treat them with equal respect and try and give them, I'm not in their pattern. I bend down the whole pattern. So here's where you are. It's sort of like, where's Waldo? It's like, well, you're actually here, and here's where you want to go, and here are the places in between where you need to continue to keep going. Okay, that can be very helpful. I didn't get that type of information about where to go, but I instead got the pattern of watching from my perfect master how to treat individuals, because that's my job is to stand there and help people. So that I did get. Almost all I got was that, uh, which is what I need to use all the time. So that's where I learned it from. So for me, because okay, they if you reach a certain spot on the spiritual path, that like Jamie, she opened up Canada, first one to do the trust in Canada, she helps other people there. Where you reach a certain plateau spiritually and you're like, okay, I made it, and you understand the situation and so on, then oh yes, I wanted to get here spiritually. And you're like, wait a second, what is that responsibility that just landed on my shoulders? Because you have a heart, you care, you got to that spiritual place, you did everything right. And God's like, yeah, okay, well, enjoy this. Here you go, right on your shoulders. You're compelled, because you made it to help others from where you are back. So say where I am, say where Jamie is. She's really great at it, has helped so many people, and is constantly working on what we all have to work with when we work on a spiritual path and see everyone's stuck in the mud behind us. We want to reach back and help them. And it's like, and they're not reaching out to, it's like, no, you're in quicksand. And all I wanted, I'm just reaching to help. I'm not in quicksand. It's dry over here as a bone. I'm trying to just help you out of the quicksand. They're like, man, it's quicksand. It's worse quicksand. It's like, I know I'm standing on dry land. And then you're like, some you can help and some you can't. And then being around me and seeing and bringing you into different situations, you get to see the difference. So you get to touch your own intuition, realize you have intuition. Like when we went to meet Gypsy last night, she's like, that dude is wrong. Basically, like that reminds me of this guy. It's like, yeah, that is that guy. That is that character of the, anchor that is going to drag along the bottom and slow your ship down. Yeah. That's my nickname for him, the Indestructibles, to live outside and eat berries or whatever, like they have, we're not like that. So we can pray for that, but we can't give them all our time, or we get no time. We're not going to move forward spiritually at all. We're just going to slowly backslide. We're like, wait a second, I'm getting yanked backwards here. So for me to come around and make a quick assessment of the situation, I was like, yes, check, that's true. Exactly. Relates to when we go back individually, we have to deal with them characters. It's like, okay, you just silently pray and move on with your day. You know what I'm saying? No, I got a son and I got work to do. You don't, you have a heart, but you realize you got to put your heart where it will achieve something, you know? Uh, and Mike's the one that's like, he's like, Mike's like, yeah, I'm taking Gypsy on the win. And he might actually, for when I was here last time, put in some time. And then I realized, okay, I am who I am. I'll pull back and see what happens. So that's something I'm required to do to everyone at some point, which the situation we find ourselves in, where you come for every year or whatever for a gathering and then leave, you get the same situation in a way, right? You give my time and then you don't get my time, face to face. You go back and to carry those principles forward, and then, like Alan was saying, gather again, bring your okay, I had these experiences and share not just with me but the others and so on. It's really, I don't see how moving forward on a spiritual path is possible without that. I don't. That's, it's not. It's semi inconvenient to be with others and change your life and so on, but to take the time to do it, each individual experiences a lot of forward progress by taking the time to do it. So
Yeah.
you've had a lot of that where you've been here for the first day you got here until today. I appreciate your taking the time to come down, bring Benjamin, and
I was so thankful to meet everybody
yeah,
and be here around you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great to have you. Anything else that's on your mind to tell everyone about your experience coming down to this gathering?
I just think since meeting you, I always would write out everything I wanted to manifest, all the stuff, all the whatever. And my daily prayer just shifted to God, please remove my ignorance, show me the truth, show me what to do. And it's like such a change.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And so many more things keep changing like that.
That's fantastic, because after you go through the process that George described, yes, of you review the situation, you look at the past, you're like, oh my God. And then you accept it for what it is, and then you process it, you let it go, basically, you forgive everyone. Then the next step, or conjointly, these things aren't individually, I'm doing one or the other, but you're doing them kind of together. You want to you're like, can't believe the situation you find yourself in, and all you want to do is get on that conveyor belt to God. You're like, where is that thing? Step on that thing, stay on that thing. Like, that review of what you did that maybe, you made errors in, is a review to, speed up your progress forward, to start, instead of, you do look back where you find out the truth. You start looking backwards. You're, oh my God, whatever. And then but then after this begins, or they kind of start, or joined in the middle, but then your focus ultimately becomes what you're saying after your process of forgiveness. So, and I was going to do this, I was going to do that, and then you instead, totally different view. You're not looking backwards. You just change your direction. That's what Mayor Bob would say. You're not seeing me because you're looking the wrong direction. You're not looking for me. You're looking backwards. You quit looking backwards, which is the past, right? If you think of time as that's backwards, and say you're looking forward to God, like she's describing. And so again, that's what we find ourselves in, right? I found the truth. They were like, "Oh, what?" With that, you try to debunk it every which way you can. This can't be true. Oh my God, you kind of complete that. Then you process the truth. Okay, that puts me here. Then you're like, okay, where's Waldo? Where's Jack? Where's Jamie?
Jack in the
Where's
box.
where's Benjamin? Like, your flag is there. You're like, okay, I got my flag. I see where I am now. Yikes. Okay, so I'm totally right here. And that's what Mayor Bob would say. You can't move forward spiritually until you accept where you are. So you're like, you have the flag. This is where I am on the map. Then next process is like, okay, well, this flag's moving forward. I am not staying here. The God, there you are in the distance, God, and here I come. And that's how we make those, final steps. If you see, okay, someone, I tried to debunk the guy, John, I try with like that guy. If I can debunk him too, then okay, I'm back at my place. So but if you can't, then you're like, okay, well, maybe I have some help. And you meet your compatriots, you're like, okay, I got some help there too. Gathering was good. And so the in between time, we do have some help. When we hit certain roadblocks, it's like, what is going on? Totally don't get this. And then it's like, okay, well, that pattern, I went through that pattern. This pattern looks like this. And then again, you move forward through it. That's what we're trying to do with each other. And I know y'all got each other's numbers and the texting and WhatsApp and all that stuff. So we're gonna support each other as we move forward and do this. So thank you, Jamie. Anything else? That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
No,
Okay.
keep going.
Back to Canada.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jamie.
thank you.
All right. That was wonderful. Everyone, thank you for being here. That's everyone that's here. That was a great show. We got 109, so we did that in pretty short order. You didn't get the whole thing. That was like that was a clip version. That was just a summation. You didn't experience here. The big raid happened during the show, and that's over. So everyone, thanks for the support. A lot of people that came are in here. That's wonderful. Maybe we should say a prayer so we can get together next year. Maybe in the same area or whatever. We'll work on that. Consider yourselves, anyone that came is now on the committee to gather again. You're like, sorry, you're on the spiritual hierarchy. You got baptized. Okay, well, then you're on the committee to get together again. And so we'll work on that in between and how to do that and stuff. It's not my best. It's not my complete forte. I like to hold the space for people, but all the details. I've noticed some other people are fantastically better at that than me. Like I'm like, Ali, okay. You're traveling with me. I'm gonna keep an eye out. And you could make the plans. So it's great to have every level of competence and all the things that is necessary to get together and do all this stuff. Alan did all the paperwork. I mean, so helpful to help everyone with that. Thank you, Alan. Frank, great presentation, J Baba. Praise Jesus Christ. Thank you. Yeah. Let's say a prayer for each other and we'll end the official gathering here. George is leaving. I'm thinking Jay is leaving. Jamie and Benjamin came further. They're gonna stay a couple more days and they're out, and this is the end, the official end here of the Rainbow Gathering or the Jesus Christ Trust Gathering. And this the reunion continues. Yes, reunion. Yes, we want to get joined up again. God, reunion. That's a good name. Reunion is a good name. Reunion. What a fantastic word, Jason. Okay, so prayers for each other until we have our reunion. Let's all pray for each other right now for a minute, for a second. Okay, God watch over everyone that traveled home and the next year until we gather and help everyone, become the best minister, missionary, worker for God, spreader of truth that they can be out there. It's not easy work. So God help us do that and support us, God, in our work for you. Okay. Thanks everyone, Poe family. Thanks for making this fabulous. Appreciate all of you. Everyone that came, love you all. Everyone that was willing to get on camera, each one of you today on Thursday. It's been great. Thank you everyone for coming. We'll see you next year. God bless you all.